find a way to make $30,000 a month ASAP, because at that income level, it brings peace, it brings freedom, it brings fewer responsibilities, and life kind of feels balanced. I was personally happiest when I was making $30,000 a month myself. And so you need to focus all of your energy on reaching this milestone to simplify your life and enjoy true financial freedom. I remember very vividly, like, all I ever wanted to do was make $10,000 a month. And I literally locked myself into my apartment until I hit that goal. I remember my car broke down at a certain point. I had no more money really left, and I had to figure out a way to pay rent, and I had nothing left. And I was making like $3-4 grand a month. And so what I did was I locked myself in a room and I just focused on making, this is when I discovered Faceless YouTube channels. I locked myself into my room and I just focused all of my being and everything that I had into building these Faceless YouTube channels. And I was shot for making 10 grand a month, but I was kind of struggling to hit that consistently. And after this period of locking myself into this room, it wasn't like it took 6 months. It wasn't like it took 3 months. It took 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I broke past hitting $3,000 a day. I ended up having some issues with staying monetized for like 45 days or so, but then I was able to figure it out. I was able to get some help, and I was just getting a stupid amount of views. I was getting like 1 million views a day. And then I was able to figure it out. That I went from making $3,000 a month to that first month I made 9 grand. The next month I made $18,000, and the following month I made $42,000. This was in 2019. This was before like COVID and everything. And I'll tell you, life unlocked. Life got so much better. I actually immediately got on a flight I went to Arizona, hung out in Arizona, and then I had a friend invite me to go to Bali, Indonesia. And immediately I went to Bali, Indonesia, and lived my best life out there. I was able to like finally break free. Maintaining the 40 grand a month, I didn't necessarily do that. I dropped down to $10,000 a month. I'll be honest, I got kind of stressed about money again as soon as I started making 10 grand a month again. Then after I think like 7 months, 8 months or so, I got back to where I was past $30,000 a month. I ended up hitting $70,000 in a month, and life was good. I was able to live my dream life, and ever since then, I've been able to live in big houses. I've been able to drive supercars. I've been able to travel pretty much any time that I want. And what's nice is you don't just travel; you also get to like stay in nice hotels. Like, you get to stay in places where you get good service, and you kind of feel like somebody at a certain point. You know, it's like, I'm not saying that we need these things for validation, or myself, I needed validation from getting this special treatment. That's bullshit. Actually, I kind of did a little bit. But once I started kind of getting this nicer treatment, then it was easy for me to just feel rich all the time. It was nice as I could go to the grocery store and I could buy groceries, not think about it. But then I can also do that same exact concept. Imagine like being able to go to the gas station, not worried about the gas prices, going to the grocery store, buying whatever you want. But then you can do that same exact thing if you're feeling bored. There's many times I was like, oh, I'm bored. And I would get on a flight and go to Costa Rica. Or I have other times where I've gone to Europe and I went to like some electronic music festival. I was supposed to be out there for like a week or 10 days. I ended up staying for like a month and a half. I extended the trip because I could and I wanted to go and do something. Like, I wanted to stay out there. I didn't want to go back home, and back home was summer. So I didn't want to go back into the heat, and it was nice enjoying Europe during the winter, like during the summer. And I've done that many times. Like, if I'm ever like in a point now and I'm just like, I don't want to be here, I'll find some excuse or some reason to go do something in another state or another country, and I'll just get on a flight and go. And I don't have to think much of it. I don't think about the price of a plane ticket. And a lot of times I can end up flying first class and not deal with a lot of the bullshit or the headaches. It's nice. Your bag comes out first. I always board the plane last. I don't really give a shit about like boarding the plane first. I'd rather not have like 300 bodies to walk by me while I'm just fucking sitting there just in first class. So I always get on the plane last. Whenever I fly first class, just so I don't have to have every single person on the airplane walk by me and just stare at me and stand next to me for whatever 30 minutes. And then on top of that, then it's just, the people that you meet are cool too. Everyone else is like living their best lives. Like, I remember feeling really rich at a certain point when I started, like, I would go out to the mall or something and go buy something in the middle of the day. I'd go to the Apple store, go pick up a new laptop, or I'd go run an errand or something, or just go grab lunch and just hang out and just enjoy my day. Because I had nowhere I had to be. I was making 30 grand a month and I was living my best life, and I was my own being. I remember I'm driving around And every person that I see out there is either like a housewife or there's some like some other rich business dude. That's it. That's all we ever saw. We get the balloons in the video. That's all I would ever see anywhere that I would go. And I remember very vividly thinking like, damn, I actually made it. Cause it's like, I never saw any young people. All the young people, it was like, maybe it was like when high school was out during the summer, but that was pretty much it. All the young people were typically at their jobs or working, or maybe they were like in between, like running office or maybe on their lunch break or something. But that was it. Everybody else was like peaceful. Everyone's living their best life. You go into any store and you have the best customer service. Like you're the only thing that matters in that entire store. It's not like freaking crazy packed. There's no lines at anywhere. You literally just like, it's like you get to live all the society things, like all these life things, but you're the person that gets all the service. There's nobody anywhere. There's no traffic. Like I never deal with traffic. Like I never have to sit in traffic. I live in places that have traffic, but I never sit in traffic because I never have to go anywhere at the times when everybody else has to go places. Or I'm going the opposite direction of traffic. I'm going towards, the malls or whatever while everyone's going home from their day job or whatever. And they have to get ready for the next day. And so you need to get to 30K a month ASAP. Like otherwise, like you're sacrificing your dreams, you're sacrificing your future self. And what I will say is like, you probably don't need to make $100,000 a month. When I started shooting for $100,000 a month and now I'm on the track to do $1 million a month, I have honestly brought more stress back into my life, probably more than what I had when I had like $3,000, $5,000 a month. But it's chosen stress, so it's a little bit different. Like I deal with insane amounts of stress now at these points, but it's like very normalized to me because it's just like, just how it works. I don't know. You kind of get used to it at a certain point. But at $30,000 a month, no one gave a shit about me. No one knew who I was. And I had very little responsibilities. I would work with like some freelancers online to get some projects or some virtual assistants or whatever. And that was it. I had no responsibilities. Like I could just make my income and just live my best life. And there was like maybe there was some like a little bit of some perceived stress at the time, but in reality, there was not that much stress. Like I was quite fine. And it's funny because you hear all these people that are work their way up this corporate ladder and they have like a 6-figure a year salary. They're making like $150,000 a year. And I would look at those people and I'd laugh because I know damn well like most of their money would go to taxes. They don't get to choose like where their money goes. And they have to go show up to a job and show up to an office every single day. I remember being like freaking 21, making $30,000 a month and just realizing life is good. Like I was richer than most people making $30,000 a month at the age of 21 because I could just do whatever I wanted to do. I could live my own life. So here's the thing. Fuck the girls, fuck the traveling, fuck the shopping or any of that stuff. Screw any of the stuff that are any of the distractions. And what you need to do is we need to get you to $30,000 a month ASAP. So you can do whatever you want and become free. Then at that point, you can get the girls, you can go travel, you can get jacked, you can spend time with your family, and then you can then enjoy your life. And so the question then I get is, how do I make $30,000 a month? Devin, this sounds great. This is cool. I want to be rich. I want to be like sitting in pool floaties all day and talking to MILFs everywhere that I go and just see all these beautiful housewives and live my own best life and be detached from the system. So what I will say is that there are business models everywhere. And what I will say is I was the dumbass that tried every single one of those business models. I tried them all. I tried the freaking drop shipping. I tried the affiliate marketing thing. I tried the YouTube thing. I tried the real estate wholesaling thing. I've tried Instagram pages. Like I've tried all the weird shit. I guess now they have like Etsy and like audiobooks and stuff like that. But like I've tried a lot of like the basic business models. Amazon is another one. What I will say is now at this place that I'm at, all of them work. At the end of the day, how business works is this, or like how cash flow works is this. I'm not saying you're building a business to make $30,000 a month. You don't really have to own a business to make $30,000 a month. You just have to have like be tapped into some sort of cash flow situation. So how it works is this: there is typically a traffic mechanism, there is a conversion mechanism, and then there is a fulfillment mechanism. There are 3 parts when it comes to a full-blown business. You have all 3 typically. But to get cash flow, you just need to find a way to plug yourself into one of the 3 different components of a system of a business. And we can just unlock like the ability to master one of these. You can get to $30,000, $50,000 a month, no problem. If you want to go to bigger sizes, you either have to have a really good vehicle or a really good opportunity, or you just need to sure to build a business. That's what I'm doing at this point. How I got to $300,000 a month is I just built a full-blown business. I have my YouTube channels that bring me in typically $40,000 to $60,000 a month, and then majority of my income then became info products and stuff like that, because it's a lot more scalable. And when you control each of the components of fulfillment, conversion mechanism, and traffic, and when you have those three things, then you can kind of make money a lot easier at a certain point. But when you're getting started, you have to learn all these skill sets is extremely difficult. So just focusing on one thing. So that's why the best business model is to do one of the three things. The fulfillment one's kind of hard. You would have to go, like, if you're supplying a fulfillment mechanism, you have to have a skill set, or you would have to have some sort of talent there. I would say that one's probably one of the harder ones to, you could definitely make, I know people that make $30,000, $50,000 a month, and they just purely are the fulfillment of other people's businesses. But what I would say is, like, I guess you could do like a car detailing business or something like that and outsourcing it, but then you're running a business. So then the better ones is either you become a sales rep. This is a great way to make $30,000, $50,000 a month. I know a lot of sales reps that do it, especially for like a solar offer or something that's extremely high ticket. So you could either be the salesperson. Now, what I will say is you have to show up and you have to work and you have to do sales. So that part is kind of difficult. If you do go the sales route, you can definitely do it. There's so many opportunities out there. You can definitely make more than 30 grand a month doing sales. But you do have to work your ass off, and once you get it going, you have to keep showing up. I will say that. You can't, unless you become a sales manager, but then you'll probably get decreased pay a little bit, more responsibilities. It's a whole thing. So then what instead is you want to kind of focus more on the front half of things. So typically good business models like this are YouTube automation, affiliate marketing. I guess the Amazon one, that would be more the fulfillment mechanism and stuff, and you're kind of marketing, whereas like Amazon's supplying a lot of that. So I guess that is the fulfillment mechanism, is the Amazon one. But like the ones that are on the front end is like, yeah, YouTube or TikTok or something like that. Because what's nice about those is you just come up with the traffic and the platforms do the rest. They do the advertisements. They play, like right now you watching this video, you probably saw an ad or you're paying for YouTube Premium. So that part's taken care of. And then the fulfillment, I don't even have to deal with that. That's the businesses. And YouTube's just like that middle ground of supplying a place for people to post their videos and then a place for ads to be displayed. And so all you got to focus on in the YouTube realm is purely on just making viral videos. Hopefully I'm not losing you guys on this. You just have to purely focus on making content that goes viral. And when you just have to focus on that one mechanism of supplying traffic, it makes things easier. When you do affiliate marketing, you have to be the traffic and find the right affiliate marketing offer. So there's kind of that kind of goes into play. So it's like, you're doing YouTube, like you're doing the traffic part, and then you're also doing kind of like the conversion mechanism. So it gets a little complicated. The other one that's a good one is like if you're a copywriter, that's a good one because, or you're like someone that does sales or marketing funnels. That's another good one too, because then you don't have to supply the traffic. You don't have to supply the fulfillment. You're just here making sure that the sales are able to convert and that there's good quality traffic coming in and they're coming in the right mindset. Now that you still kind of have to show up. You don't have reoccurring revenue. That's why, in my opinion, Faceless YouTube channels are the best way, because it's like you can make the content, you can make the videos, and then once you figure that part out, everything else in the conversion mechanism is kind of already taken care of for you. The advertisements and the fulfillment, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And instead, you purely just have to worry about making YouTube videos. And in my mind, that seems like way easier, because any other business model, if you want the effects of like semi-passive income, you have to do pretty much everything. Even in like my business that does $100,000, $300,000 a month right now, I have to, like, there are systems and people in charge of these things, but it's like, it takes a lot of freaking work. And it's like, it's kind of hard to be profitable in that business. Versus my YouTube channels, they're insanely profitable. And I spend like probably like an hour a month typically on them, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more. But like, I don't have to be in charge of everything. Once you have someone that's kind of in charge of video production, everything else is kind of taken care of for you. I will say it's a little bit harder to make money at first. So probably you're gonna have to be a little bit more involved to kind of get to these greater heights. And then you have to kind of find the right talent. But then once those two things are satisfied, everything else is pretty taken care of. You just got to take care of your channel managers, and then channel managers take care of everything else. They take over the recruiting, the hiring, the production, even coming up with the ideas at a certain point once they get good at it. And that's what my channel managers do. They do all the ideation and everything. And it becomes a pretty passive model. I don't know too many other business models that are able to do that. The only other one I could think of is Amazon. or you could do that model where it's like you're purely just coming up with the products and then supplying them over to Amazon. You're just finding the gaps in the market. And then Amazon supplies the traffic. It pretty much already has a conversion mechanism. You just have to have a good product. So that one's kind of nice too, because you only have to focus on like one part of the entire process. And then the problem is a little bit different. Then you're kind of focusing on fulfillment and stuff. So both of those are good. They're at the tail ends of the system, and then you don't really have to worry about anything else. And that's like the best way to make 30 grand a month in a way that's pretty semi-passive, if not passive, and it doesn't take as much work and as much effort. And if I were trying to get to $30,000 a month in a way that unlocked freedom, that's how I would do it. If I wanted it faster, I'd probably do sales or copywriting or some sort of freelance work or something like that, or install myself into somebody's company and become more of like a growth operator or something. But what I will say is, once you get it going, a lot of times you have to be pretty involved. Maybe if you're a growth operator, maybe you can figure it out. Copywriter, maybe you can figure it out if you get like a percentage of sales or something. But a lot of times it's like you're paid per contract or you're paid per, sale or whatever it is. And you have to work for each of those. And any of those models, yeah, you can definitely get to 20, 30 grand a month. And if you're trying to quit your job ASAP, I think that's a great method to just start making some money. I have a lot of people that I've worked with closely, or have had students where they do freelance work just to get to their first 5, 10 grand a month. They get the fuck out of their job or drop out of college or whatever it is, and then they build a Faceless YouTube channel, or then they build like a Amazon business. That's a great way too, but and that's probably like if I wanted like a good kind of hybrid model that made me more money quick, but then allowed me to unlock freedom soon, that's probably what I would do. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to get to $30,000 a month, any means necessary. All the models out there work. You just want to find something that works for you personally. And my opinion, I'm the dumbass that just tried everything, and then YouTube automation was the one that worked for me. That's probably what I would do. I would just go try stuff, go do it. Just don't be the jackass that's like doing all the models at the same time. I will say that's probably one of the worst ways to do it. You want to do one, see it all the way through, and then either just drop it and then move on to the next, or you're getting success and getting results and then you just keep going with it. Because if you're trying to do all of them at the same time, I will say you're kind of screwing yourself up because you're not really like fully implementing the tactics. Now, I will say there are some ideologies that work for all of them. I bet damn well if I got into e-commerce, I could probably crush it because of my ability to influence people and my ability to make things that go viral and understand like human behavior and human psychology from YouTube channels. But I will say it's like in my growing stages and they're learning all these new things all the time, it becomes really complicated. So I really recommend just picking one thing. So that's my thing. That's my ideology. You need to get the $30,000 a month ASAP and do whatever you can to go do that. And I'm rooting for you. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments down below. I've been trying to get a little bit better at responding in the comments. I know that goes a long ways for you guys. So drop a comment down below if you guys have any questions. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. We'll end with the one with the confetti. See you guys.